I want to start off, sir, by asking you one question that has come in the minds of a lot of investors is that if this target of 80,000 crores for FY27, stiff considering what has happened in the recent years, how much of it is differentiated between equity disinvestment versus asset monetization? And does it bake into account some of the usual suspects like IDBI, or is it beyond that?
Since you talked about silver, let me first clarify. We neither sell family silver nor obsessions. We follow a composite value creation strategy, and that essentially rests on 4 pillars. Improve corporate performance for the CPSEs. List them, create market cap. Make them subject to the market discipline. Give fair dividends to all minority stakeholders, citizens, who have reposed their faith in us, and a calibrated disinvestment. You have to see the 4 together in a macro framework. That is important. Remember, we are not a department of disinvestment anymore. We are DIPAM. We are a department for investments. We are a department for public asset management. And we light diyas or in the lives of ordinary investors, in the lives of minority stakeholders. That having been stated, let me back it up with evidence. The CPSEs, particularly the ones in the strategic sector, are doing extremely well. Their market cap has increased 5 times in the last 12 years. The dividends they are paying to their shareholders have increased 3.5 to 4 times during the same period. In the closing year, which is 25-26, our CPSEs achieved a record profit of 3 lakh crores, and they distributed a record dividend of 1.4 lakh crores, partly in the last year and partly in the previous year. And our market research shows that if you compare it to the Nifty 50, while the CPSEs just have a market cap of 10%, 10 to 15 if you put the financial institutions together, they distributed as much as 25% of the entire dividend on the market. It is not without reason that most mutual funds today have dedicated portfolios for the public sector, PSEs,
sure,
and the National Stock Exchange and the Bombay Stock Exchange have specific indices dedicated to that. Over to you.
Completely agree. So just before Shamit, I still want an answer to my question, which is that of the stiff target, or of the target, let me not attach an adjective to it, the target that has been laid for FY27, you could be forgiven for saying that because PSUs are doing so well, let me not disinvest as much and let me do asset monetization in some fashion. What could the mix be when you want to reach this target?
Okay. You used and not used the adjective. I will use it. We are happy about the target. It is there because we want it to be there. And we have also innovated and moved on. The 80,000 crore target that you are talking about includes not just traditional disinvestment, not just traditional land sale. It includes all the new innovative forms of asset monetization. For example, In December this year, we got the regulatory approval for launching the first public InvIT. Now, let me explain to the viewers what is an InvIT. A public InvIT is the capital market equivalent of traditional risk capital, and it monetizes the present value of user fees and redeploys it to create infrastructure and public assets. If you watch the budget speech carefully, Honorable Finance Minister talked about a new innovation, which is REITs for monetizing and redeploying the surplus PSU land. This is also an exciting development because it will monetize the present value of rental revenues to redeploying unproductive or idle assets into productive use for everyone. It will enable this redevelopment without putting any burden on the budget or the parent CPSU which owns the land. So these are innovative, happy developments. We are trying to launch the first public InvIT in the country before the end of the current financial year, and we will take it forward, which is why 80,000 crore is good for us and good for the country.
Let me try, Neeraj, that once, because what we are looking at, the breakup, is it going to be 50-50%, 50% asset monetization, 50% from disinvestment? Are you trying to say that?
The reason we follow a composite strategy and the reason we don't break it up is that you can't work it out.
No, I do understand because government move away from that separate target for disinvestment, and it's a part of capital miscellaneous receipts. I do understand, but sir, some estimation in mind, I'm sure.
No, that's correct. But why we avoid doing that is because we are a market-facing department, and you are a market-facing channel. We all know the difference between ordinary media communication and market-sensitive communication. And, you know, whenever we always keep 2-3 assets ready at one time, see the market conditions. We have an in-house DIPAM model. We have a market research unit which works on it on daily basis. Whenever we do it, we enter it with aplomb, we announce it, and we go ahead with it. Mm-hmm. It has been our experience when you give verticalized micro targets, your viewers and market participants work it out. They have a counter strategy. It creates a price overhang and does not give us the best value for the silver that you said.
Okay, let me, straight come to IDBI Bank. DIPAM posted, last night that government has received bids from all potential bidders for the strategic disinvestment in the IDBI Bank. Wanted to know how many, bidders have applied so far, and when we could expect the announcement of the winning bidder.
We are careful about the privacy of strategic investors and the integrity of the transactions. The tweet which we put out is worded very carefully. We do not give either the number or the identity of bidders or any information which will help you figure it out. But I will not disappoint you.
But
I'll not disappoint you. We have reached the final stage, which is the evaluation and approval stage. You will hear more from us by end March, the end of the current financial year.
Okay. But I'm not asking you to actually reveal name, and I understand the market sensitivity towards it. I'm just asking the number of bidders which you received.
Let us
2
respect,
players, 3 players?
let us respect the integrity of the strategic transactions. No strategic transaction in the corporate sector is done in the glare of the media. And if you, on either side of the table, there are institutional players, there are consortiums who also are listed on the markets. They have regulators to face. So let us stick to what we have said officially on the DIPAM handle and wait till the end of March.
So then a short one, but IDBI Bank therefore becomes a part of that FY27 target. Would that be a safe assumption?
I guess so.
Okay, fine.
That's why the increase in the budgeted target for sure.
Yeah, the small one, though, a slightly short-term one, but the market is agog with chatter that there is a heightened small individual number, but a fair degree of transactions happening in Q4 to end FY26 on a high. Would that be a fair assessment? Are investment bankers going to be busy?
Yes, we started the current year with aplomb with a few transactions. Then you know what happened in the middle. Then of course we picked up again. Now that will be behind us because the deal has been signed. Then we picked up again. We did a few more transactions. Now that these headwinds are over, we will do a few more transactions within the current financial year, and you will not ask me which ones.
Just for understanding sake, sir, with India-US deal now reaching the finality, and of course it will improve the overall market sentiments, all the disinvestment proceeds in the pipeline, how are you seeing that to be coming forth for the next year? Will that impact the valuation significantly?
I must clarify that in the Atmanirbhar Bharat policy, disinvestment and closure is seen together as a composite whole. So both disinvestments and closure will be pursued actively in the coming financial year. And let me also explain to the viewers what is this Atmanirbhar Bharat policy. As you know, in the first 3 decades post-independence, we adopted the commanding height paradigm, where the commanding heights were reserved for the public sector, and it became a bit of public versus private. And economic history tells us what happened. The Atmanirbhar Bharat policy, which was announced by the government and the Honorable Prime Minister in 21-22, reorganizes the public sector landscape into 3 verticals. A strategic vertical, which includes natural resources, to ensure the security of our supply chains. 2, it includes the traditional infrastructure, which is could be either non-rival or non-excludable or both. And that typically means transport, energy, and the financial infrastructure. And the third big element is national security and defense, which is a public good in its own right. This constitutes the strategic sector. This is where the public sector will remain to ensure our national security and to ensure we can navigate the 21st century geopolitics while supporting our economy and the people. The second vertical is the exempt vertical. Now, this is where the public sector will survive to support the vulnerable groups, to ensure inclusion, to support farmers, These are the areas of market failure or areas where markets have failed to reach. All other areas, particularly in the manufacturing and in organized services or business services, will be in the non-strategic domain. It is in this domain that we will be fastest, and we'll be progressively disinvesting or closing enterprises which are not doing well. That's part of our roadmap, and we are committed to it. The difference between the commanding height paradigm and the Atmanirbhar Bharat framework is that while the earlier one was public versus private, the Atmanirbhar Bharat framework is public and private. We will survive, move together, and take the country forward.
I have one last question, and I know the time is up, but my question lends itself to some speed and being nimble. The recent, I'm using that as an example, but when the promoter of one of the companies in which the government also has a stake did an OFS because the prices had reached fairly high valuations, it is often thought that can't the government be nimble to shave off, if not actually sell large stakes into held enterprises when valuations really go north? Can we expect that DIPAM or the government will be more nimble in shaving off, if not sell, stake at very high valuations when the valuations give you the ability to do so?
I know what you're talking about.
Everybody knows that, trust me, sir.
I will not be able to give out the strategy.
Sure.
But if it lies in the strategic domain, then we have to move carefully.
Okay, well, that says it all.
Just a last question as well from my side, that, there is a perception in the government to not very open with the foreign investor when it comes to a strategic sector like banking. With IDBI now reaching advanced stage, do you think that there will be a shift in that perception?
Absolutely.
Or the change of stance?
Absolutely. I steal your words. The perception is already changing, and it must. We welcome anyone who reposes their faith in us, is ready to invest, if I may use the expression, create a beachhead here. We welcome all of them with open arms, and we'll provide them the policy support that is necessary.
Fair point, sir.
On that note, by the way, anybody doubting that PSUs have done well, just look at the stock price performance of a State Bank of India versus any of the other banks, and you will get an answer. Yes, PSU have done splendidly well, but absolutely. From Shrimi and me and the team NDTV Profit, thank you so much, sir, for joining in today. Really appreciate your time and your insights.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.